Morgan!
Okay, well, for the vaccine that has the chance 5 of 10,000 people being paralyzed, I'd pay, I guess, in, do I have to say percent from my tax or from
You can say dollars and percent.
Okay, I have $10,000, I would pay like easily like $2,000 for this vaccine that is...
Okay, makes sense, but count the percentage of the possibility you might get paralyzed or you might die.
Oh, well, it's very small. It's like, it's not 5%. It's like
0.05%.
0.005.
Yeah, isn't that a little bit not enough to pay quite a lot of money?
Well, yeah, but being paralyzed is like the worst thing I can imagine, so
But
I better throw a little bit more cash to not be paralyzed.
so even as the possibility is so small, you still would pay a lot of money.
Well, yes, but that is only because it is about my health and being paralyzed. In any other situation that is in a situation within investments or business or whatever, I wouldn't pay that much for such a small chance. But since this is my health, I don't want to be paralyzed and suffer through for the rest of my life and lay not moving. I better pay for that a little bit more than I would pay for like a business insurance or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, it's my health. I can't care about it.
Makes sense.
The next question is the same, but I have 2 children. Well, if I have my children, well, and I'm responsible for them, I would easily pay like 80% of my, it's $8,000. I would easily pay it and not even in a blink of an eye. It's not a question.
And the percentage is still the same. It's like 0.05.
But, well, yes, it's still the same. Yes, it is still the same, since it
And
is...
still you would risk so much money just
Well, yes.
for being sure.
If, yes, if there is a deadly disease outbreak and I come into the shop and they say like, well, your kid's gonna pay $8,000 each, it's like easy. I wouldn't even think about it, so...
So you wouldn't even think about percentages and how...
Yes, I would just pay if I have enough money. If I don't have, I would think about the way to get enough money.
And if the disease would be 0.001%, you would still pay that much money.
Well, yes.
So...
It's health and it's being paralyzed and it's a deadly disease. It's like the worst thing that can basically happen to us, so...
Okay.
I think I could pay for that. And then the last question is the same, but the vaccine has 0 risk of paralysis and cancer. So yeah, I think I'd pay, well, if it's like myself and it's 0%, like pay like 70 to 80%, yes.
Okay, but it's even less. Would you just maybe get the vaccine, I don't know, the previous one and pay less? Because the percentage is still 0.05.
Well, I would do that in any other situation that is not about my health.
Okay.
So any other cars, business, investment, stock, whatever, I would not do the same thing.
Okay, that's awesome. That's just perfect. That's...
So I have to make a choice and buy an insurance.
Yep.
And I have $10,000 and I would buy the one that costs $650 a year and guarantees that I never lose more than 5%, because I get, in average, 6.5% per year, and it is $650. I get them a year and then I pay them. So it's like I'm back at the starting point, and I can lose maximum 5%, but the average rise is 10% more than the average drop. So I'm still potentially 5%. I'm still potentially getting 5% per year, and I'm not losing anything averagely. So yes, I would pay $650 a year and guarantee that I will never lose more than 5%.
Okay, your actual average returns of 6.5% a year are equal to $650.
Yes, I told that.
So it's
I get them, I pay them for the insurance.
and
it's like zero. I'm back at what I had.
but what's the point of the insurance if you don't earn anything?
But well, there is a rise and a drop. It still is there. And so
Yeah.
it's average, and it can be more than average, and it can be less than that. But you get more in average if it rises than you lose if it drops. And the difference is 10%, and I'm secured that I will never lose more than 5%.
Yeah.
So roughly in average, it's safe. It may be totally not safe in certain circumstances, but theoretically, averagely in a perfect system, it should be safe, I think. At least it's what I would choose.
Great.
If you want to guarantee that your portfolio won't have any losses, how much more than 800 a year would you pay? Actually, I would not pay more than 800 a year.
Okay.
In this case, I would not pay more at all.
Awesome.
Yes, in this situation I would choose the same thing, but here it is $65,000 per year from my $1 million. And so the percentages are the same. So again, theoretically, in a perfect circumstance, it is safe, at least from my point of view. And again, I would not pay more than $80,000 a year to ensure that I never have any losses, since it's like 80% of my cash.
And the risk is still 7% a year, right? 7% that there's a catastrophic crash.
Yes, it is.
But if it's still 7% and 7% is still really low, why would you actually buy such an expensive insurance? Because you still will get, there is drops by 50 and 25%, but they fluctuate back to their current price, and thus you lose money almost never. Thus, buying an insurance is only against the 50-60% drop, which is 7%, which is likely to happen 7%.
Well, 7% is, in my opinion, it's a pretty high percentage for, losing more than half of my things. So it's pretty high, and I chose this option in the previous one, and I don't think that scaling it up by scales it up by like
10 or 100 times, I think.
Yes, 100 times. I don't think that it should change anything for me.
Okay, and what if actually you had a 7% chance of something crashing only 30 to 40%? Would you still pay such high cost insurance?
40%.
Yeah.
Well, 30 to 40 is still pretty high.
it's less. It's less
Well,
than
I guess
half.
I would I would strongly consider buying the insurance that costs 50-100. I would consider that. I actually don't know what would I choose in the end, but I would think about it definitely.
So
Because if it would be like 20 to 30, I guess I would definitely buy the 50-100.
maybe actually what is you are afraid of is the drop, the crash, and you are not really looking at the percentages.
No, I'm not actually very afraid of this catastrophic crash. I'm more considered about the average rises and drops, since they are all the time. I'm more considered about that, not about the occasional drops.